Asking good questions. The two most basic elements of good communication are actually asking questions and listening to others. Today, we are going to focus on asking good questions only. The way we ask something affects directly on what we actually get in the end. That is why it is important to discuss this topic. There are two kinds of questions: open and closed. Closed questions are those that can be answered by either yes or no, or with a specific bit of data, such as your name, date of birth, or occupation. These questions restrict our responses and give us little opportunity to develop our thoughts. As a result, they require little effort and can even close down a conversation. This type of question tends to get overused, partially because they require very little effort on the questioner's part as well. They are easy to phrase and we get quick answers. Unfortunately, such questions also can lead us to assume, and assumptions can be big barriers to good communication. Closed questions begin the closing process. The unintentional use of a closed question can often be overcome by the simple expedient of following it with a simple open question. For example, do you feel that was the right thing to do? Yes, I do. Can you help me understand why you feel that way? Open questions, on the other hand, encourage people to talk. These questions are phrased so they cannot be answered with a simple yes or no. Open questions often begin with a variation of the 5 W's: who, what, when, where, why, or can ask how. Questions are used to get information, focus conversations, solicit opinions, gain consensus. There are several different types of open-ended questions. The most useful are probing questions that search for more information and investigate in more detail. Most of us are better at presenting our own point of view than we are at drawing out information from others. A good name for this skill of gathering information from others is probing. When you probe, you get others involved and participating. Since probes are designed to produce a response, it's unlikely the other person will remain passive. Get important information on the table. People may not volunteer information, or the information they present may not be clear. Your probes help people open up and present or clarify their information. Force yourself to listen. Since probes are most effective in a sequence, you have to listen to a person's response. Help improve communication on both sides of the table. There are 5 ways to probe other people. One of the most common ways of probing is to ask an open question, such as, "Can you describe that more clearly? Would you give me a specific example of what you mean? What do you think we should do?" The difficulty here is that if you ask too many of these, the other person begins to feel like they are under interrogation. A second, very effective way of probing is a pause. Stop talking. Let the other person speak. Let them fill the silence. A third way is to ask a reflective or mirroring question. For example, the person has just said, "What I really want is more variety in my work," and you may respond by just reflecting back to them. Variety? The reflective question usually provides you with an expanded answer without you appearing to ask more questions. Of course, it is best used in conjunction with a pause. Reflective questions or statements focus on clarifying and summarizing without interrupting the flow of the conversation. They indicate your intent to understand the sender's thoughts and feelings. A fourth method that is particularly useful to make certain you are clear about what the individual has said is paraphrasing what has just been said in your own words. So if I understand you correctly, you can use this response to show that you want to increase the accuracy of your understanding of what has just been said. You may also want to use it to ensure the sender hears what he has just said. Finally, paraphrasing reassures the sender that you are trying to understand what he or she is saying. The last method, most often used as a conversation is winding down, is the summary question. For example, you have tried ignoring the scent of your colleague's cologne. You have talked with him about how it affects your allergies, and you have tried shutting your door to keep the scent from your workplace. None of these has worked, and now you are asking me to intervene. Have I got it right?